Woo! Why don't they want to leave us? Phil Jones at about 80k, so tell me why would he ever be fussed when his bank balance look like Elon Musk? Plays for his boyhood club and it earns more P than half of the squad, so tell me why would they give two? Woo! Why don't they want to leave us? Phil Jones at about 80k, so tell me why would he ever be fussed when his bank balance look like Elon Musk? Plays for his boyhood club and it earns more P than half of the squad, so tell me why would they give two? Woo! Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms and this is NK, and today we are going to talk about the latest Manchester United transfer news. Look, I love this. I love this window, and it's particularly nice for me because we've got a bulk of our business done already, NK. So for me, I'm excited, I'm happy. It's almost like, yeah, we need to get those additional key players like a DM or whatever like that. But it's almost like, you know, when you've watched your team qualify and then you're just waiting on the other teams, you can sit back and just enjoy the madness.
Right.
That's how I feel right about now. So, but obviously I know that we need a midfielder or maybe right back cover, whatever like that. But today we're not going to talk about incomings. You can touch on a little bit at the end, but mainly it's about outgoings. You know, with Manchester United, for the good window that we've had already, bringing in Sancho and Varane. What we've never been really good at is getting rid of players. Since under Ollie's reign, we've been trying. We've been getting guys out on loan, and we've got rid of the main guys like Sanchez and Lukaku that he didn't quite fit Solskjaer's philosophy and stuff like that. But I feel like there's still a lot of the dead wood, should I say, that's still at the club, and that's just proven difficult to shift, mainly because the wages and stuff like that is just always high, or injuries in Phil Jones' case. But let's talk about some of them now. So obviously, this guy by no means is dead wood. This is a guy that we actually want to keep. It's a key priority for us, and that's Paul Pogba. Now, Pogba's a guy that's been at United for a very long time. But during that time, especially with Viola, they've been flirting with the idea of moving away. And I heard that Pogba's idea is never really to stay at Manchester United and finish his career at Manchester United. He actually wanted Real Madrid, I was told. I think I read that in the Manchester Evening News or something like that, where he planned to come to Manchester. Well, Real Madrid couldn't afford him anyway, so he came to Manchester United. And it sounded like a great idea at the time. Pog back, unfinished business at Manchester United. So he came to Manchester United, he signed. But I think the idea was always, well, according to the article anyway, is that he was supposed to spend like 3 years at Manchester United, do what maybe win a trophy or whatever, then go to Real Madrid. Didn't quite work out, COVID and all of that stuff. And he finds himself still here at Manchester United. So I guess the question I'm going to ask you is, do you want Pogba to leave? That's what I'm going to ask you first. Do you want him to leave or do you want him to stay?
If this was like a few seasons back, a majority of the fan base is like, hey, we want Pogba out. But I feel like right now, as a fan base, we kind of like sensing something with like how the recruitment have gone this summer. I think I would say 70% of the fan base are sensing that United can actually like mount a title challenge this season, And if you want to mount a title challenge, you need all the best players that you can get. Now, the problem is they don't know where Pogba fits into the formation because people say they don't trust Pogba in the middle. And that's what the debate is, whether to keep him or not. Everybody want to keep him because the question is, if you let him go, who do you get in? If right now, if you can tell this fan base, like, hey, if Pogba go, we're going to get you like a world-class replacement, like, look, I'll be on board with that, because I feel like the formation that we play, maybe someone who is more defensive can see the way we play. So me, I've told you from the beginning, I want him to stay at least, even for 1 year, I want him to stay because I feel like this season is going to be like, we are building such a big momentum right now. And he staying will help us in terms of like going to the next step. We finished third, we finished second. Now with him there, I feel like we can either mount a title challenge or win a trophy or even do well in the Champions League. But the minute he goes, I don't know if we can improve on last season because the main objective for this season is to improve on last season. And with him there, we can just do that.
What's crazy as well is because, so you touched on the the points that a lot of the fan base are saying. They're like, you know what? If we're keeping him, we need to make sure that we're supporting this guy. Many people feel like since Pogba's been at United, we ain't really utilised him well in a way that, you know, in the position that he should be playing, or, you know, a correct DM beside him. Right. And it's frustrated the fan base, it's frustrated him himself. He's come out and talked about, you know, how he wants to be used and stuff like that. So I guess, I feel like people are thinking like, you know, they want to keep Pogba definitely, but especially if you're keeping Pogba, you want to make sure that he's got the ideal defensive midfielder next to him. Otherwise, it's almost like wasted talent again. And if you're not really going to be using him appropriately and sort of like plug him, trying to fit him in rather than building a midfield around him, then it raises the question of, you know, is there any point of keeping him? You might as well let him go, try to get money and try to rebuild or whatever it is. But I agree. I feel like I'm with you on that opinion. We got Pogba's world-class World Cup winner. You know, he's someone that you don't want to be letting go. If you can keep him, you want to keep him, and just add to the team. Build that team around him, man. And I hope, you know, he's a guy that I see if we're winning trophies. I won't be surprised if Paul Pogba is a big contributor to us doing that, you know, rather than not being part of it. So,
and I feel like he will, because the thing about selling places, and United, we've been guilty about not getting the right player. You know, I think right now, you look at our squad, you look at the midfielders there, getting one decent defensive midfielder, it doesn't even help just Paul Pogba, you know, it helped a lot of the players. It helped guys like Van der Beek, because naturally, the way if we play that kind of like 4-3-3 that always wanted to play, players like Van der Beek will have the freedom to actually go forward and just do what he needs to do, because he's very great at it. And don't forget, McTominay too, he is a good goal scorer. You saw that game against Leeds, when you give him the chance to go forward, he can score a goal, he can strike the ball, but the thing is, defensively, he's not good, and he can pass the ball from the back. So another defensive midfielder too will bring the best out of him. 100%. Even Fred too. You saw Fred too with Brazil playing next to Casemiro. Like, he was playing good too. So it's not just about Pogba, it's for the whole team. Like, a defensive midfielder bring the best out of that. It's like when we have Lukaku and then you have like Andres Pereira's behind him. He's not gonna create nothing for him, you know, just let the guy play nothing for him. If Lukaku was there when Bruno came, bro, Lukaku will still be at Man United, because if we wouldn't be caring about his hold-up play or whatever it is, because all he will be doing is just scoring goals, because guys like Bruno are going to be laying out on the table for him. Imagine Lukaku in the team with Bruno Fernandes, Sancho all next to him. Bro, he can you 30 goals easily.
Yeah, it'll be easy. And I feel like with Manchester United and Oli in particular, I feel like they realise the importance of Pogba and not losing him. So much so that, I know they failed to get the contract agreed earlier on, and I feel like it's poor sort of practice to leave it and make it run out to the last year of the contract and stuff. But I do feel like it also shows how desperate they are to keep him by allowing him to run his contract down to and to be fair, like, you know, people may say Manchester United haven't got the power, or Manchester United, you know, can't control whether he runs it down or not. But I do genuinely feel like Manchester United, even if they could sell this guy and get a fee for him, Manchester United will still say, you know what, hold off a bit, let me try and convince this guy. And I really do feel like Manchester United, that's their number one priority, is to try and convince Pogba to sign on the dotted line and extend his long-term future to Manchester United. But it is a risk, as you can see, because he's going to be running down the last year of his contract. He wants to assess his options at the end, and his options are going to be a lot more than what he's got now. And I feel like, you know, if he wanted to go PSG, he'll be pushing to go to PSG. His agent will be pushing it and coming out in the press saying PSG clearly isn't seeing PSG as one of his priority moves. So I feel like he's waiting to see what happens with Real Madrid. Yeah. And then he will assess it from there. But, you know, like I said, we discussed this over the phone. I feel like Manchester United, you know, there's still the opportunity that Manchester United could keep him. You know, it just depends on how we do this season. I mean, a small proportion of us Man United fans are slightly optimistic that we can go on to win the league and lift the trophy, at least, you know, push City right down to the latter stages of you know what I mean?
It would be great to do that. But with the Pogba situation, I feel like United got a plan there. They are so relaxed about Pogba, yeah. It just, from the outside, a lot of us we're not worried too much about Pogba leaving or not, because I feel like the club is not giving us the indication that he won't leave. Like, first of all, he's not going to force a move. He will not force a move, because if he really wanted to go, he would have come out and say, hey, I want to go. He is not going to force a move, because he knows at the end of the season, he's going to have the option. United to feel like they are confident enough to just say, hey, we know what we can get deal done with Pogba before, like, what do you call it, the end of next season. But personally, I feel like this is what I'm thinking. I think maybe we are also relaxed too, because that Bayern Munich guy that he got a year also left in his contract too. Now there can't be a situation where United can say, hey, you know what? Personally, I feel like if Pogba don't agree a new deal before January, they will sell him around in January time. For even if they can get like 20 million, just like how Tottenham done with Eriksen when they sell him in January to Inter Milan. Because someone would take the risk and pay 20 million or 30 million for him around January. I feel like they would sell him around January if he hasn't agreed a new deal, and then convince that guy in Bayern Munich that, hey, you know what, next summer we're gonna sign you. So they might end up even making 20 million from the Pogba deal, and then sign the Bayern Munich guy on a free transfer next summer, give him that kind of like half of Pogba wages to him, and you know what, both of them are quality players. So in a way, you don't really, in terms of quality, you don't lose that much. Maybe the dressing room, you might lose something, but in terms of quality, you not do something. But I wouldn't be surprised if the United are working really hard on that Bayern Munich guy, because from what I've seen, Bayern Munich are not so confident of signing him on a contract. He might leave on a free, just like Thiago did leave on a free too.
Yeah, I heard that story as well about Goretzka, and I heard Manchester United offered him a contract, but for next year, if he doesn't agree a deal with Bayern Munich. See, I'm kind of, if you're telling me to rate that transfer, I'll probably give it a 1 out of 10, to be honest, because I just don't feel that there's enough legs in it. I know we're interested, that I do know.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Bayern Munich is going to come to some sort of agreement with him in the end. I just have that in my gut that they're going to agree, like some sort of wage package that benefits everyone and everyone's happy. That's how I can say it. But you know what? As time goes on and he doesn't agree anything, obviously that's going to keep rising. But for now, I just feel like, I think I read today from Mr. Romano that, we love Camavinga, and Camavinga's like, an amazing signing for us. So I feel like, if anything, we're looking at him as probably someone that could potentially be more realistic if he doesn't get his move to Spain or PSG, wherever he wants to go. But with regards to Pogba, I feel like I'm more relaxed. Back to what you said, I feel like I'm more relaxed in a sense where when Bruno came, I feel like I was already more relaxed from there, because I felt like Manchester United heavily relied on Paul Pogba for that sort of spark, that creativity, that world-class flair. Since we got Bruno, he's kind of mitigated the need for Pogba in certain games. I feel like, we was playing with Fred McTominay and Bruno for huge parts of the season. Pogba was on bench and we were still grinding up results, getting victories. Right. So I feel like we've become less dependent on Pogba, and I feel like, if he is going to leave at any time, especially now that we've got Varane and Sancho, this is the best time in terms of Man United being in a good place to survive without him. I feel like it's the best time for him to leave. But in terms of going on to win a trophy, Premier League, etc., I feel like it's not a good time letting go of someone like Pogba, because you want to keep all the quality in the team to enable us to go on to win stuff like Premier League, or even go to the latter stages of Champions League, or even win it. Because I see no reason why Man United I look at Chelsea and I know they're, well organised and drilled, but I see no reason why Manchester United couldn't do that as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
right. I see. You know what? Next is the Champions League. Yeah, I'm expecting us to get to the semis.
I don't expect us to win it. Let me not let people watch it. I don't want
us to get to the semis.
I don't want them thinking, we're getting ahead of ourselves in terms of all of this stuff. But Man United underperformed last season terribly, in Champions League. We should have been knocked out at the stage that we got knocked out in sort of qualified group stages, whatever. Man United should have been there around quarterfinals. And if we did get to quarterfinals, we'll be saying, okay, why couldn't we get to quarterfinals again, or even semis? So, I feel like that consistency, hopefully Varane helps us with a bit of consistency, and Sancho. And yeah, I won't be surprised, especially in terms of the state of football is now with the European clubs. Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're not at their strongest. German football, Bayern, they're great, but they're not. Again, you saw the frailties last season. So PSG's obviously at the peak of their powers right now. Chelsea, City. I expect it to be, heavily influenced by the English football teams, the Premier League teams. And with PSG,
I do too. Like, and you know what, me, when it comes to in terms of the league, I'm not so confident about us winning, but the way Oli set us up to play, we're very kind of like defensive most of the time, and then we know how to grind results, especially away from home. So in the Champions League, if we actually manage to get out of our group, I don't see why we don't make it far. Like the team that I can see us maybe knocking us out, the English teams are one of them, because they are always kind of like quality, and maybe PSG, your Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, they might put up a fight because they're very defensive. But we should even beat them anyways. Though. But anyway, that's a whole story for another day. But we'll see.
So let's move on then. Yeah, Pogba signed the thing. So let's move on to Pereira then. So Pereira again is a guy that's been at our club for a hell of a number of years. He's actually 25 years old, so he's still relatively young, but he's an adult now. He's a guy that where you have expectation of. He's not a youth anymore. He's a guy where if he's staying at a club, if he's playing for Man United, you're gonna want to see outputs. You're gonna want to see delivery. Now he came out and said this: "I'm ready to play. I'm not a boy anymore. I'm a man and ready to take on responsibility. I'm sure that with playing time and continuity as a starter in my position, I can show what I've done at the academy. I can score more goals and make assists. A player of my position needs the confidence to play and the freedom to dare on the field." He then goes on to say, "In Manchester or elsewhere, the time has come to play, to have at least an hour per game on the field, to have the confidence to play. I want to be happy, to feel important. We are focused on looking for the best for my career. That's what my staff thinks. And I know United want the same." So he's basically saying, regardless of whether it's at Manchester United or whether it's at another club, he wants to be playing at least an hour worth of football. And at the end of the day, I back his statement. I'm happy that he's not coming and saying, you know what, I want to be fighting. He knows the situation at Manchester United. He knows the situation in midfield. He already sees us looking for other midfielders, and he's assessing his situation, saying, you know what, the most important for me in my career is playing time. I need to get games. And at the end of the day, if I want to progress my career, I ain't going to be able to do that sitting on the bench. Now, what's funny is that we watched a friendly. I can't remember who it was even. He wasn't even against where he scored that is it QPR? Or...
No, it's Brentford.
Brentford. He scored that rocket of a goal. And then people, that were watching that game, there was like, oh, maybe we should keep him, or maybe there's potential. And anyone that knows Pereira knows that, in pre-season, he's always amazing. Lingard again is always amazing. And all Pereira's goals are crazy goals. Like he doesn't score much, but if he scores, it's amazing. Now, what's your thoughts on Pereira anyway? Do you agree with his statement? Do you feel like he should be going out on loan, or do you feel like there's an opportunity and he can break through into the midfield?
No, I don't think he should be going out on loan. I don't think he should be going out on loan. I think he needs to be sold. He needs to be sold. He needs to be sold. Like
true.
His time at United was over. It's a shame. I think he had only gave him a chance in the first team, so he can't say he didn't get a chance. He got a chance, but my only problem is he got a chance in a wrong position. Because around that time we didn't have Bruno, and he was tasked with the number 10 position, which he was massively underperforming because the expectation was just too much at the time. What he wanted to do, he couldn't do. We shifted him to the right-hand side too. He just wasn't doing what a winger was supposed to do. But I feel like the position that they could have tried him on at the time was that defensive midfield role. I really feel like I don't think he would have been the best there, but he wouldn't have been far from the McTominay or Fred, because one thing about him is he knows how to pass. His defending is probably bad and his defensive position is probably bad, but he would have at least done enough to say, after McTominay or Fred, he would have probably be ahead of Matic in a way, because he can pass the ball. Don't get me wrong, he can pass the ball. He got shots in him, as you saw with him, but it just maybe understanding the game. But I feel like his chance is just done. Only just don't trust him no more. And to get an hour, bro, he ain't getting no hour in my United team. No, not in a million. I'll be surprised even if we get a game in a League Cup, to be honest with you. I'll be amazed if we get a game in a League Cup.
I feel like it's a mistake that we often do when the mistake that can happen in pre-season where you look at someone performing well and you're thinking, oh, whether they be on loan or pre-season, you're just like, oh, he's doing well. Like with the thing with Lingard, no offense to Lingard because he's a top lad, but it's just like, this is the reason why our squad is so oversized with guys that, you're screaming to get rid of it. Pereira is one of those guys, okay, yeah, he'll come in, he'll play 1-2 games, and you'll never see him again. Maybe he's covered an injury or something like that, or covered, the players that is not quite fit yet. And, these guys, we've already seen enough of them at Man United to know that, the best thing for them and their careers is to move on, and they can make it at a decent level team. It's just at Manchester United, we've moved on past that. We're onto bigger fish. Do you know what I mean? So I look at Pereira as well, and I've seen him play in midfield, and he's one of those guys that he's okay, but he doesn't give you that spot. He doesn't give you that. You almost see him playing the whole 90 minutes and think, okay, but where is, was he playing?
Right.
He's that type of guy. He's a very, he's decent at passing. He's got a shot in him, as we can see, but you wouldn't see that quality 90 minutes on a consistent basis. He'll be like he's not even part of the game. But yeah, he'll be, from what I've known of him, what I've seen of him, he's a guy that he works hard. You know what I mean? He's tenacious and stuff, but he just isn't, he doesn't have an impact or presence in our midfield. He's not influential. Donny's obviously levels above him, in my opinion. And I feel like we'll be trying to play Pereira like how we probably may try to play Donny van de Beek if we have a good defensive midfielder next to them. But for me, Donny obviously is ahead of Pereira. Pereira's way down in the pecking order, in my opinion.
Right.
There's no point keeping him. Let him go out, like you said. If you can even get a sell, and I think that goal that he scored against Brentford had Fenerbahce.
He's one of those guys. Like Klaus will give him a chance, but they just won. A lot of them don't want to pay the current. Look, he's a decent midfielder for 20 million. I'll say for 20 million, he's a decent midfielder. Maybe, we can take even 15 million. Any good club there, he's going to shine in those kind of Turkish club. He will go there and probably play there for 5-10 years there and become a goon there. French league will probably suit him too. The problem right now with him is he doesn't know what position he's good at. And that is a big problem here. He doesn't know whether he's a number 10, a number 8, or a number 6, or play on the left. He doesn't have a position. So most clubs don't know what position to play him. So he needs to go to a club for a manager to just see him and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to play in this position. I feel like you're going to shine in this position, because at the moment he doesn't have a position, and someone needs to give him a position. And that's the big problem about him. He don't have a position. And
it's frustrating. Sometimes it's frustrating sometimes it's a blessing when you have players that play multiple positions. But then it's also frustrating when you have certain players, especially if they're not up. If they're not at least a certain standard when they're playing in various different positions. We've had guys over the time that can play multiple positions for Manchester United. But Pereira doesn't stand out as one of those guys that, we feel like he can hold it down in any of those positions above what we've already got. So for me, he's a goer. So apparently, so you mentioned it. So I think he's been linked with Man United, won about 20-25 million for him. But Fenerbahce, I think, are looking at that and bulking at that price. I feel like they're gonna try and hold it out and see if they can get a lower price. Do you think that price is fair, or do you feel like?
I think the price is fair. He's young, he's young, and if you go and do a decent thing for the club like that, they can also sell him and get that money back, or even make profit on there too. But the thing about this kind of places is that when you sell him, I personally, if you sell him for the cheap like that, I will put maybe a buyback clause inside, or maybe some kind of sell on percentage inside it. Just like how we done with Zaha, for example. We put a sell on clause anytime that guy moves, which, by the way, we're waiting for him to move.
25%,
Right. So you give them for cheap like that, put those kind of things inside so that we can make some kind of money from them, because these guys are all the way from the academy. We trained them and we saw some kind of potential, but their career just haven't take on as much as they, but still make some money out of them, still make some money.
So I'm gonna say we sell him for 15 million. Then I say that, you know, we want 20 million. Let's just say 10 million. Let's just say 10 million. Maybe some add-ons. Let's just say 10 million just to be fair. So as we're going along, I'm just trying to calculate how much money we can potentially make on these outgoings and see what we do with it at the end. So that's about 10 million banked. Okay, we move on to Tuanzebe. Now Tuanzebe again is a guy that had a successful run at Aston Villa in the Championship. They came up to the Premier League. This was not last season, but the season before. Aston Villa really wanted him, but I think United at that time as well wasn't as strong in defence as we are kind of now. We decided to keep him, but then we wasted him because he made some feature games, most notably against the Pit in the Champions League against Mbappe, where he pocketed him through that game. But after that, you know, he didn't really get a look in, which is sad. And he's been holding bench for quite some time. So now what I'm hearing is that, you know, he said he's definitely going out on loan. Newcastle said, shown some interest now to say that they want to take him out on loan. But Manchester United is saying, you know what, fine, you can have him out on loan, but you need to give us about 4 or 5 million loan fee, and that fee also covers his wages as well, like sign-on fee or whatever it is, and covers his wages. Now, Newcastle, I don't know if there's some resistance with them with this fee. I mean, I think the club are probably thinking it's a bit too steep. They may try to haggle to bring it down, but for me, I feel like, you know, I don't know what Tuanzebe is actually on in terms of his wages. I don't think it's that high. I would say it's probably, you know, no more than, let me just check actually. I would say it's probably no more
be around, I would be surprised if it's like on 60, 50,
I would say
1,000 a week.
Let me just check now. I would say it's
United, I probably say 70.
Well, you know. So okay. So his weekly salary, according to Sport Track, is 50 million. 50 million.
50K.
Yeah, 50K a week. Let me check.
Yeah, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, so it's about 50 million then. So which is kind of high, to be fair, especially for what he's done. I would say ideally we should be giving him like 30,000 or something like that. But, you know, kudos to him. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. He's getting his bag. But, you know, 50K, and you're talking about Newcastle loaning him. I don't feel that that's too expensive if you're getting a guy that has decent potential. You've seen what he can do already. He helped Aston Villa get into the Premier League. For me, I don't see that as being too steep. 50K should be something that Newcastle are willing to onboard. Do you know what I mean? And it just feels like when it comes to Manchester United, we always struggle with teams paying the full wages. And I know that we give players high wages and it's crazy, but for Tuanzebe, it might be a little too steep, some may say, in terms of what he's getting. But I feel like it's still low enough for a club like Newcastle to cover the costs. Do you know what I mean? And be okay with it. So I feel like we'll find a resolution, because Tuanzebe is not going to want to sit on a bench for another season. Ollie's not going to want that for him. So do you feel like that move to Newcastle is a good move for him? And again, if we was to sell, do you want to see him leave permanently and be sold, or do you want to assess and see how he does it? You know, if he does well, then bring him back to the club.
Well, this is the thing. I think Tuanzebe, once he leaves to go out on loan at Man United, he don't have a future at United no more. Because with Varane and Maguire, we got a centre-back partnership for the next probably like, I'll say 4 or 5 years now, you know. And Tuanzebe ain't going to wait for 5 years to get his chance playing with that. Now, there's 2 ways with this Newcastle deal. Say he goes there. Yeah. He had a fantastic season there, you know, where he's playing week in, week out. He had a fantastic season there. He's not going to come back and be United 4th choice center, because I'm expecting Bayer to leave after this season, because he's going to probably play limited football, so he's going to go. Lindelof, I don't see him going. I feel like he's very comfortable playing whatever role he's going to play. So Bayer expects Bayer to go. So if Bayer go, we will need like another center back. Now, if I'm Tuanzebe, I go Newcastle. I play like 38 games a season. I play decent there, which like I play decent there, and I know I'm going to be on the team. He's a captain material too. So at Newcastle, in 2 years, I'm expecting to be the captain of Newcastle. I'm not going to come back to United just to play about 10 games a season. I'm not going to do that. And United will know that he's not going to do that. So the only thing is to agree a transfer fee for him. So in a way, it will work for United to get some money off him, but just not for this season, but for next season. But I feel like once he get out of the door, there's no way coming back. Because if he goes and he doesn't do well and he get injured and everything, even if he come at United, they're still not going to play him. He is still going to end up on the bench. So I don't care how good he does on loan, there is no way back for him at United. I just don't see it. I literally don't see it. He should have gone on loan before he came to sit on our bench. Then there could have been a place for him. But then now it's just it's very hard for him to come. With Maguire and Varane, bro, it's very hard for anybody like right now to break that kind of partnership. They haven't started yet, but on paper, I don't see anybody breaking that for the next like maybe 2-3 years. You know, I don't see it at all.
Yeah. So if everybody leaves due to no game time, and he's really come out and publicly said, you know what I mean, like if I'm not getting game time, the minutes that I want, I'm gonna move on. That leaves us with 3 centre backs, right? It leaves us with Varane, Maguire, and Lindelof.
Right.
So you're thinking, okay, we'll have one spare centre back to cover. We've got some youth, but I don't feel like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be looking to the bench for anyone like that to be covering any Premier League or European big games anyway.
Yeah, but that's why they are the fourth choice. The fourth choice is very highly. You use your fourth choice when you're playing like League Cup games against like one of those smaller teams. Like, you know what, Tuanzebe could have been a perfect kind of like a fourth choice this season if Baye was to leave, because your fourth choice centre back should be able to play both as a centre back, a bit of right back, and a bit of like DM if you need them to. Like a bit like how West Brom used to do. West Brom was able to play centre back, was able to play right back. He played right back in our Champions League final. You know?
Yeah.
Oshiatu used to be doing the same thing too. Tuanzebe can play right back. We've seen him play right back a bit sometimes too. We see him play with the further back. But the question is, right now, Baye is ahead of him. So he has to go on loan. And once he goes, I don't see a way for him coming back. Especially, look, he's not going to go playing 30 games a season and coming to play 5 games a season, you know. Fourth centre back, play cameo appearances. Lindelof will get more games than he will get. And I don't think, unless we sell Lindelof and then he become a third choice, right, he doesn't even want to go. He's very comfortable.
So my thing is Baye, if he's not getting the game time, which he probably isn't, he's gonna be angling for a move away. Tuanzebe, like you said, if he has a successful loan spell, he's gonna want to be saying, you know, I don't want to be holding bench, I want to continue playing. So you've potentially got 2 people that want out of Manchester United come next season. My thing is if Manchester United have Maguire, Varane starters, Lindelof to come in as cover, because they just can't play all games, even if they did stay fit. Say one gets injured, you're still going to need that 4th defender there as a backup. Now, if you've got 2 of these guys angling for a move for various different reasons, do you see Manchester United letting go of both of them? If not, which one do you see Manchester United keeping?
They will. I think personally, I think they will let go of both of them. And then you know how United how to do. They're probably gonna go get a centre back on a free transfer window, you know, just to come and just do the cover up there. Because as I said, you know, you get like an old experienced centre back who probably in their late 30s to come and do like a cover up kind of a position. Because as I said, a cover up position, you don't require them. You require them when there's a big injury. It's gonna be very hard to have 2 centre backs injured at the same time. Like it is. You hardly get that. You get someone to just rest someone, but like that is the worst case scenario.
Klopp wants to speak to you. He's knocking on your door, mate. He's knocking on your door.
Right.
Klopp, like, wait, what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if they let both of them go, they will get an experienced centre back who is probably like old, that they can get on the cheap. You know, a bit like how we go like Cavani to come in, like Igalo to kind of like come in. Because we know that, hey, we might need a cover.
Prince Boateng. That's already been ruled out, but...
That's a very good rule about, you know what, I always experience, like, look at how Chelsea got Thiago Silva on a free. You're always going to get those kind of like defenders coming out, like, what do you call it? PSG go Ramos on the free. You're always going to get some of these center backs that they are good, but they are coming at the end of their career and they are happy to sit on the bench and then just play like an occasional 5-10 games for the whole season. You can get something like that.
It's a tough one. But I would. I mean, if they can line something up, fair enough. But I would struggle to see Manchester United letting go of both Bailly and Tuanzebe in the same season. I feel like they could let them go, but in the same season, I think it'll be a bit of a mad one. But if they were to go, like, I mean, if we had to keep one and move one on, who would that be? And what do you value both of them at anyway? Your person.
Bailly, because he got a new contract, he's probably worth another 25, 30 million. But the question is, when players want to go out and clubs know that, they always try to like bump you on that kind of a prices. But we can get that. Tuanzebe goes there, have a good season. But if Ben White is going for 50 million, I don't see why he cannot go for 30 million. I feel like he's worth a good 30 million. To be honest with you, I am shocked Arsenal are not even trying to get him. If I was Arsenal and I got Ben White, I would be trying to get Tuanzebe, to come there and partner him there, because both of them there, you get two English lads playing there. Look, I think Tuanzebe is better than all their centre back. I don't know about Ben White, but he can be a second. Bro, trust me, I'm surprised a team like Arsenal are not coming for guys like him, honestly.
I mean, you don't want to go there. Let's be honest. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, but I value Tuanzebe 30 million and then Bailly to 25, personally.
Okay, cool. I'll just make a note of that. Just so we can see what we end up with at the end of the day. Okay, cool. So, but who would you want to keep? So you didn't answer that. Are you keeping Bailly or Tuanzebe if you had to keep one and get rid of the other one?
Well, if you have to keep one, I'll keep Bailly. To be honest with you, I'll keep Bailly, but I don't think he will want to stay. I don't even know why he's even in a rush. No matter what he do at Man United, he's still going to play for the Ivory Coast anyways, because he's probably like their best defender and he's getting good money there too. But if he want to play week in, week out, which I don't know why he want to play week in, week out. I mean, he's a footballer. He want to play week in, week out, but with the money and then like staying in Manchester and everything like that. So if I was him, I would happily just be a third choice centre back. He get injured a lot anyway, so I would bet my time there if I was him. I would keep Bailly, to be honest with you, because I feel like he's much more better than Tuanzebe, But the question, I don't think he want to stay. But if he said he want to stay, I would say keep him there. Keep him there.
I think the scary thing looking at it as well is that Lindelof and Maguire are just a unit. I mean, Maguire been at Manchester United for how many years now? And this is the first time he's had a serious injury. Lindelof as well don't really get injured like that. So, I mean, unless you get guarantees that you're going to be playing in some of the domestic cups and stuff like that, for me, I'll be worried because Varane is starter, Maguire is starter. Then you've got obviously Lindelof, who Ollie's definitely going to look to as that next person to come in any other game where them two are not playing. So for me, if I'm Bailly, I would definitely need some assurances that I'm going to be playing in certain games, whether that be in FA, Carabao Cup, or the early stages of Champions League or something like that, just to get a run out. But let's move on from that anyway. So Brandon Williams now. So Brandon Williams again is a guy that had a breakthrough season at Manchester United under, was it Mourinho? He had his breakthrough season. It was under Ollie. No, it was under Ollie. Sorry, he did.
Yeah, it was under Ollie.
This wasn't last season. It was the season before that, right? He had a breakthrough season
before that, yeah.
And it was split with the fan base in terms of how he done. I thought like he had heart personally. I thought like there was times when I was watching him thinking, like, you're all right. Like, maybe, Luke Shaw should hold bench for a minute. Like, you're looking like, you're looking good. And then there's certain times again, I'll be like, you know what, this guy is not really ready. And then the following season, Luke Shaw was just like, this is my time now. You need to hold your corner, especially when Tellers came, kind of like benched him. So with Brandon Williams, again, he's a guy that, apparently I hear he's a right back, but he's been playing all of these game time at left back, which is strange. Anyway, I don't understand why. I've been really wanting to see him play, right back, and when I have seen him play right back actually, because he has played a few games this season, or last season, that just went where he played right back, and it was just scary. So, and not in a good way. So, for me, I think it's his time. I think it's his time to go. I know that we haven't got that cover for right back, but I do think it's his time. But I don't think he's going to get that move because Telles is... Well, if he gets the move, sorry, I think it'll be late because Telles had that injury, which is going to rule him out for like, I don't know how long, a month or whatever, which is annoying for Brandon. But yeah, with Brandon Williams... I don't think he's at the level of Manchester United, but I do feel like he can play for a Premier League team. And I do feel like the teams that's looking at him, like Southampton and Norwich, will be good moves for him, especially Norwich. I think it'll be really good. What's your thoughts on
Brandon? You know what? I don't even think he's good enough to even play in the Premiership. You know, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I think he's gonna be a good Championship player. He's one of those players that can play in the Champions League. It reminds me of this guy, Barnsley. I think he played for Burnley. He came there. He was playing like right back or so. Went to Sunderland. Phil Barnsley or whatever his name is. I think that was his name. Yeah, I think. It reminds me of that. Like if you go to Norwich, bro, Norwich are going to get relegated. He's going to end up in the Championship, and then he's going to have 10 years in the Championship there too. When he came first to United, like we were so average around that time. Every player looked good at the time, bro, because we were so average there. Like he's a right-footed that play left back, But I don't think he's good enough. Like if you can sell him, sell him. But the problem is they don't want to sell him because clubs want to loan him out first and then pay the transfer fee later on because they feel like if we can get him a loan, let's get him a loan and spend our money somewhere too. He's one guy to do that, but once he get out the door, he ain't coming back in. So
I agree.
I would give him to like maybe if Southampton can get a deal done, United should just stop being so stubborn with the transfer, the loan fee, and just put more like let them pay all his wages. Put like a buy option that he plays a certain amount of game, then they have to buy him and just sell him game off your books next season because look, he ain't gonna have a future at United. I don't see him going there to play like a good game to even come and become a backup guy for us too, So just sell it.
I mean, how much do you think he will attract?
Right this very moment, I feel like 5-8 million. If he go on loan and he does well because of his age and everything, then you can get 20 million. But at this moment in time, if you were gonna sell him, bro, you'll be happy to get like 10-15 million for him. But I'll probably say like maybe 15 million for him because he's young and he's English.
15? That's a lot. I don't think anyone's gonna pay that for him, to be fair.
Bro, he's young and he's English and he got a long longevity for him. If you get him in a decent club, play him for 5-10 years, you can still sell him in 5-10 years for that 20 million. So 15 is gonna be good. Do a payment structure.
I feel like if he had an outstanding season, a really outstanding season in his loan club, then I feel like maybe you could say that, and maybe that price will be included add-ons. Even that's how much I think. That's how much I think of it. But the thing about the team. So I'm looking at in a sense where in order for Brandon Williams to benefit, he's going to need to go to a team where he's playing ideally week in, week out. Sometimes loans are not always treated that way because you're not one of the first team permanent squad players. Yeah. But I want him to go to a team where they look at him and say, do you know what? You could be like a leader. You could be the one that carries us through. And I know that Norwich has got the who was that right back that
Max Aarons.
Max Aarons, yeah, they've got him playing in the right back position. I can't remember who's on left, but I think for Southampton they got Kyle Walker-Peters on the right, and then again,
they're so one of their guys,
Who
no, actually one of their guys, Ryan Bednar got sold.
Bertrand got sold.
Bertrand got sold, and he played left back for them, and he got sold on a free or something. I'm not sure what club he went to. Maybe I think Everton or something, but I'm not sure. But he left.
So that could be a good option then if a space is opened for Brandon Williams to fill the void. I just see it as they'll be looking at Brandon Williams as someone that's played at that high level Norwich, and then being like, I want you to help. Just take us to that, keep us in the Premier League. So for me, just for that very reason. But if he's getting game time at Southampton, I'll love him to go to Southampton, But they both play decent football, attacking style football. So, you know, if he goes to either one of them, that would be great. So for me, get him that move, man. Hopefully we can generate, you know, interest, raise his price tag, and then hopefully we can attract that type of money that that we want from him. But for me, I'll give him, I would say at the minute, we can't get no more. If we was going to sell him this window, I'll say that we couldn't get no more than 8 million, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything more than 10 million. I'll just put 10 million just to be fair, actually.
I'll put 10 million. I think you can get 10 million because Max Aarons from Championship was even going for like about 20 million or so. I don't even see what that guy's done. I feel like if he go to Norwich too, he'd probably be knocking on that kind of price too. So yeah, let's just put 10 million there just to be generous.
No worries. Okay, cool. He's off in the hypothetical world. He's gone. He's gone to Southampton or Norwich for 10 million. So moving on. Delo. Did we talk about Delo? We haven't talked about Delo. So Delo is a guy which again is surprising why we're still having this conversation about Delo. So, and it's surprising how, you know, one comment from a manager like Ancelotti can change everyone's thought process and whether we should be keeping Delo or not. You saw already in the Euros with Delo. You've seen, was he? No.
He played in the Euros.
Yeah, in the Euros.
He played like 2 games.
And even I'm trying to think about Europa what game where, was it Europa League or what games even recently where people just like, I don't know. But anyway.
He did play in the preseason.
We're looking at him thinking, you know, could this guy develop into something? You know, he's really young again. He's in his early 20s. And we're looking at him thinking, you know, is he going to be that guy that goes on to be, you know, world class or at least a quality? You know, we're looking at potential rather than actual ability at the minute now. And I understand that because we've seen examples where people will let go too early and they've blossomed, you know, to be, you know, top quality signings and stuff like that. But for me, I genuinely, under Mourinho's reign, seen enough of Delo to know that, and I can predict what will happen. He's decent at going forward. I wouldn't even say he's great at going forward. I would say he's decent at going forward. Defensively will stress you out so much because his positioning, he just can't defend. It will stress you out so much. We'll be leaking goals from it. We'll be leaking, like the pressure will be so much. They'll be targeting him. You know, in the Premier League, his side, it feels to be starting for Manchester United, hypothetically speaking. But whenever he plays for Manchester United, he'll be stressed out. For me, I've seen enough of Delo. I really do want him to just move on and get his move. Now I'm hearing AC Milan is a team that's interested in him. Ancelotti's been like, you know, this guy is great, he's amazing, whatever like that, he wants him. But you've had him for a year. For me, I don't get it. You've had him for a year. You've seen what he can do. You've seen what he's about. You've played him enough times, but yet you're still talking to us about loans or, you know, fees being too much. Like, what one is it? Manchester United are asking again, similar to Tuanzebe saying 5 million to cover his wages and the loan fee. Is that too much for us, for someone who Ancelotti is now saying is a quality guy I must keep? I don't see it as being too much. I see that Man United need to hold our foot down because we're being used for all of these loans and then clubs are turning around saying, we don't want them anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like taking a piss at United. United need to put their foot down and say, if you want this loan, this is the fee you need to pay with an option to purchase as well. Otherwise, go away. Do you know what I mean? But
bro, and you know what? Then this is the problem there. Delo went on loan at AC Milan, and that Chelsea centre back too. He also went on loan at AC Milan too. But then AC Milan, they put the money out and they bought a Chelsea centre back. They paid. They pay money for that Chelsea centre back.
The Chelsea, what's his name again? The English.
Tomori or whatever.
Tomori. Yeah. What's his? Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, they paid 25 million euros for him.
Bucks. Yeah.
Easy. And he went there in January. You know. He went there in January. Delo went there beginning of the season, bro. So I'm thinking, why are you going to buy one player from the English one? Chelsea just making money left and right. Why can't we not make money? You know, why can't we not make money? With Delo, bro, let me tell you something. Delo, that guy, he is shit, you know. He's not a right back. He is a wing back. Now, if you play free at the back, you put him there, he's going to be amazing for you because you're going to rely on him more doing the attacking thing and then defensively too. If you play free at the back, someone is going to cover him. So that will suit his play. In terms of playing him as a right back, well, He is. But I saw what that Brentford guy done to him in preseason. I don't know if you watched that goal. That guy got the ball, yeah, and that guy too. We gotta watch out for him.
That's what I was trying to remember. That where we were.
I was trying to remember his name. I think he's a new guy that he just bought and bold guy too. But I'm gonna watch out for his name for my fantasy football team. But he left him just one skill, you know. He left him, and after that, as soon as I saw that, I said, look, he needs to go. I said he needs to go because
get out of here.
The guy from Brentford, yeah, is doing that to you. Imagine what them guys from Chelsea and stuff would do to you. It will be just, and I think only just so they only say, look, I can't trust this guy.
Facts.
Only just say fuck. And you know what? If he stays here, Lindelof will play right back before Dylan play right back. I promise you. Only will put Lindelof at right back before he put him there. The question is, who is gonna pay money? You know what? I was hoping the Real Madrid thing was true, and then we could have probably used him for the Varane deal. But obviously, that kind of like gone there and everything like that. Well, if someone can give us even £10 million, just take it and run.
I was thinking that money as well.
Take it and run. Personally, I think it seems like Wolves should have been looking at him because, as I told you, as a wing back, he is gonna be great as a wing back. You play free at the back, he's gonna be great there. But unfortunately, I don't know. A lot of the teams are not playing free at the back, so they're not really like looking at him. I don't know, man. Someone just needs to just come and get him. I think eventually he's one of those people that can get sold. This window, I don't know, man. I really don't know who's gonna come back. We want to push him up so that we can go get Trippier, but I don't think it will be that easy to push him up. I think at the end of the day, we might have to go for a loan deal and try to get him off the wage bill. To be honest, a loan deal. Why can we not give him to Atletico Madrid and get Trippier and say you can have him on loan whilst you search for a player and give us Trippier for cheap? I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like they don't look at him and value him as a guy that, you know, suits them, you know, so which is a shame because that would have been ideal, you know. It would have been ideal, but I know that a lot of our business with Trippier is going to be dependent on what happens with Brandon or Dalot. So hopefully someone can go that we can, you know, balance the books or whatever, and then bring in Trippier, man. Because I know people again not really feeling whether Trippier should be coming to Man United and challenging Wan-Bissaka and stuff like that and threatening his position. But for me, I see it as this: if you're going to be challenging on all fronts, you want to be looking at your bench, not thinking it's a massive drop off. You know, you actually want to be looking at someone to say, you know, they can take your spot. That's the only way you're going to be challenging on all fronts and being successful. So for me, anyone can get it, man. It's smoke all over the place. So for me, I'll give someone like him. I agree with you. I'll say Dalot, slap Dalot on 10 million on that guy. But we move on though. So Matic. So Matic is a story that's gone really quiet. I think, you know, earlier on in the sort of season or transfer window, whatever it was, we was hearing about Mourinho, Roma potentially getting in. No real fees being thrown around that I can remember attached to Matic's name, but I know that there were a team that was interested in him. And I know that I think Roma wanted Granit Xhaka as well, didn't they? But that move, Phil. He's getting a new contract. So that opens the door potentially to be looking at someone like Matic again, having him on your list. Okay, you couldn't get Xhaka, you know, is Matic there? Matic is a guy again that's probably not going to be used as much. He may play some smaller games at Carabao Cup. I can surely see him playing in certain games like that. He probably will start 5, 6, 7 games max in all competitions. And he's a guy that's just going to get wasted. I feel like he needs to move on. He's past it. He ain't got the legs really. So I would love for him to go to Roma or whoever, but I ain't really been seeing too many teams linked with him at the minute. What do you think he's worth?
Bro, he's worth £3 million. €3 million, €5 million, you know. He's another guy too, but I went to the Brentford game too, and I'm thinking, get him out, man. Bro, there was a time he had a ball. I don't know what he was doing. He had a ball. He was and then the guy just literally took the ball off him. And I'm thinking, really? This is the guy that you want to... Bro, look. He's the one of that kind of a player that I feel like Man United as a goodwill kind of like gesture to give him the wage bill. They might even give him out on a free, just like they did with like the Sanchez thing. Give him out on a free. But United are just doing this stupid thing where they're trying to keep the experienced players for the dressing room or for coaching. I don't know what. He's very liked in the dressing room, Matic, but sometimes you just got to move. We already kept Mata there, so why keep him there too? Like, just get him out. I feel like personally, if someone can get 5 million euros for him, give him 5 million euros. Maybe help them pay for his wages for 1 year, and the next following year just give him that. But well, he's not worth anything more than 5 million euros. To be honest, he's not worth anything more than that.
I agree. I wouldn't even be surprised if we only got 1 million for him, to be honest. I swear to you, I won't be surprised.
Right.
But let's move on. Tahith Chong. So he had a loan spell in the Bundesliga. I was watching him from pre-season. I was excited to see Tahith Chong get his loan. Is it Bayern Leverkusen or one of these teams he got his loan to?
He went to Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg. Is it no? Women Bremen. He went to Women Bremen. Didn't work out.
Werder Bremen. That's it. He went to Werder Bremen. Sorry,
man. It didn't work out, and then he moved there in January to go to Club Brugge in the Belgium. Didn't work out too, bro.
It's not a good sign, you know. It's not a good sign that it's not.
He's going to Birmingham now, though.
He's gone to Birmingham, so I was going to say that. So he's in the English football sort of scene now. He's playing. He's going to be playing for Birmingham, and I'm happy that he's playing there because we're going to hear more about him. We'll hopefully should see more of him and see how he manages in English football against the rigors of the championship type football. So that'll be good to see, and hopefully he gets more game time, because what I was realizing, he wasn't getting as much game time as I would have liked him to get at Werder Bremen or even Club Brugge. So hopefully Birmingham will utilize him more. They're a smaller club. No offense to them, but hopefully they'll be utilizing him more. And he's one of those guys that I don't see him coming back into the fold, the starting lineup fold. He's a guy that is just an asset right now, equity. And if we can move him on after a successful loan, great news. I mean, Birmingham, if they can come back and say, you know, I really like this guy. This guy helped us in the league. You know what, we want to take him. We're willing to give you 8 million or whatever it is.
I think he can go there and play himself into a 15 million, 20 million player. Because look, right now some of the championship players are very expensive. You know, some of them championship when they have a very good season, they come with a price. So I wouldn't be surprised with Birmingham, the speed, the way the championship is. Well, I don't put him passing getting 10 goals there, and I don't put him getting some assists. And that alone, if he does good in the championship, I don't see why a newly promoted team in the Premiership don't go for him and try to give us like 10, 15 million for him next season too. But he's not a guy he can make money on this season. He's more like a next season kind of like guy. Like, just do the cash flow and project that you're gonna get some money for him next season.
Yeah. No. Agreed. So, I feel like 15 million steep anyway, but fair. What do you call it? Dan James. So Dan James again is a guy that within our fan base we were discussing about him potentially going out on loan. That would have been good for him. I know he's linked with a number of clubs. Off the top of my head, was it Leeds that was, you know,
Leeds wanted him.
Did they want him?
Yeah, I heard about Southampton too. No, recently they got too.
I think there was a few clubs that was definitely interested in him, and you know, he would have been in the Premier League. He definitely would have been getting a lot of game time, because I feel like, you know, out of all of the players that we've mentioned, he's one of those guys that's still making it into our starting fold, getting less regular minutes last season, but the season before it was one of our main contributors. And I feel like in big games, especially where we need to defend or do counter attack, when we didn't have guys like Sancho and stuff like that, Ollie really looked at Dan James for his speed and stuff like that. So I feel like in teams like Leeds or stuff like that, where the opposition are not defending against teams like that, it's gonna be more of an open game, more back and forth, more of an opportunity for Dan James to sort of, you know, slip those balls through the lines, you know, to his feet, run on, see what happens from there. But for me, Dan James is a guy that I think it's time. He's not at the level that Manchester United need. He's got speed and stuff, but you know, end product is not great. What do you think of Dan James? Do you feel like
well,
it's
I
time to go?
think it's just time to go. And that's what I'm saying. Like, look, he's not gonna start. Everybody knows that he's gonna be on the bench.
Yeah.
And the problem is when a player's on the bench, majority of the time you need your bench players to come on. You need them most when you are drawing or losing for them to come and have an impact. And I'm sorry, Daniel James is not a kind of like guy to come on and have an impact. When you're winning like 1-0, 2-0, and then you bring him on, bro, he's a guy. He will help you defend your lead, and then he will help you on the counter-attack too. He's going to be a guy, but majority of the time, that's not the guys you need on your bench. You want the guys to come and make a difference, and I'm sorry, but I don't see him doing that. If you play some of the games too, well, the big games, he's probably going to play like 3 or 4 big games there, you know. He needs to go, but the thing about players like Daniel James is they are just happy to sit there. But if I'm him, like when I used to play football, for example, I knew I wasn't the best guy there, bro. I knew I'm not starting. I was good chilling on the bench. Well, I chill on the bench. I'm eating the team food and everything like that. I go there, I get a jersey. I'm just good.
You can tell that he's happy to just chill.
He's just happy to be around.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
Right, guys like that, their national team places is not going to be under threat. He played for Wales. And no way, unless Wales just magically start to get some players, if Wales was to qualify for the World Cup, he goes. Whether he starts on the bench, he goes. And he can go the whole season and not play no game for Man United, and he will still get caught up for the Wales.
It's like Bale, isn't it? It's like Bale and Ramsey saying
right.
Same thing.
So he's just happy chilling. And unless only telling like, look, we want you out, he is not gonna go and say, yo, only I need game time. If you don't give me game time, I'm on. He is not gonna do that until the next maybe 2-3 years time, you know, and that's the problem too. But if we were to say, hey, we want to sell it, well, there's a bunch of Premiership teams that would take him. A bunch of Premiership teams that would take him. Like you'll be amazed, man. But I don't see him moving. I really don't see him moving. He's going to end up staying at United. I really see him staying at United. I don't see him going. And I know we go all these places too. He's not going nowhere.
So how I see it is, it's interesting because I don't know what's happening with the players currently with Lingard's situation. Because I feel like it's very independent of clearly it will be dependent on what, you know, decisions we make with the other players. We've got Lingard. Is he going to move to West Ham or not, or somewhere abroad? Then you've got guys like Rashford, who's got his shoulder injury, so he's going to be out for a bit. Martial, I'm not sure if he'll be 100% fit for the start of the season. And then you've got guys as well like Sancho, who's, you know, 30, Greenwood. They can play out on the wings as well, Cavani up top, whatever. But then if there is injuries, you start to look at their bench, and then you're looking at
our new guy too. What's his name?
Elanga. So Elanga's another one. Where
he's having a good preseason, and you can say like the way he's playing, he's probably going to be ahead of Daniel James now.
He potentially could be. So we've got a lot of these. We've got options. I mean, I don't know what Ollie's thinking in his head in regards to Elanga, but I know a lot of the fans are warming to Elanga now. They're looking at him thinking, you know, he can dribble, he's got speed, he's like electric, that excites them, and he's got a bit more of a fit end product than, you know, Dan James, a bit more. So I don't know. I feel like it depends on. For me, if we sold Lingard, I'll be surprised if we loaned out Dan James. I'll be very surprised because I just don't know if Ollie trusts people like Diallo enough, like throughout a whole season. Or, I mean, I just don't feel like Ollie trusts Diallo enough. I just don't think so. Like I feel like if he had the option,
and it just would be ahead of Diallo.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then you've got Palestri, who's definitely probably going to be going out. Actually, he is going to be going out alone.
Yeah, he's going out alone.
So then does it come down to, again, you know, if Lingard is gone, if he's here, then it will start, I think, over both. But if he's not here, and it comes down to Dan James and guys like Diallo, he's not going to start Diallo over him for whatever reason. He's not going to start Elanga over Dan James, I don't even think, to be honest.
Yeah. I think because this is it. Because the theory that we have all been going to the season is that we've been going to the season to feel like Diallo was going to be Sancho backup on the right hand side, you know, and and Martial might be backup to Rashford on the left hand side. and Greenwood was going to be back up to Cavani on the central position too. But I only can just say, and you know what, from watching preseason and the way Greenwood has still been playing on the right-hand side, I don't know where Greenwood play going forward in the season in terms of like game time. So there is that. And then Ahmed too, he just started to feel like where Ross Ahmed. I watched Ahmed too in the Olympics, and he just didn't light up the world to just say, oh yeah, when he comes to United and he get regular game time, he's gonna shine. I feel like he will benefit a loan move too. I would love to watch him on preseason to just see whether he's ready or not. But look, Daniel James is gonna be ahead of all those guys, and Ole will ship Diallo on loan first before he ship Daniel James. Trust me. The only way Daniel James go on loan or even get sold is if he comes and say, I want to leave. And I don't see him doing that. And he's going to sit bench. If he sit on bench, he's probably going to see like 10 games the whole season. And he's going to be cool with that. Personally.
It's crazy, because it's crazy because you got one guy that's more than double the cost of the other one. One we got for like 15 million, the other 40 million in total. And then, we're sitting there saying, I've seen the quality, I've seen potential in Amad Diallo, but yet we're sitting there saying, Dan James is going to be starting ahead of him and started ahead of Elanga and all of these guys. It just goes to show that, with Oli and what type of manager he is. He goes for the safe bet. He doesn't want to be taking those risks. He wants to feel secure in the people that he's choosing. So,
right. And the thing is, James is very different from the other guys.
As well.
If I'm winning 1-0, realistically, do you bring Ahmed on or do you bring James on to hold a lead? And bro, you as a fan, as much as you love Ahmed, you're gonna say, look, I will bring James on, because with James I'm more likely to hold the lead because he's gonna track back and think back. Right now, we're not looking for that. We're looking for, hey, if I'm winning 1-0, you sending guys like Diallo, Martial, or we're gonna go there. Like, what we did to Arsenal a season back in the FA Cup when we were winning 2-1. They try to get a goal, and then you look at the bench and then Rashford and Martial was coming in, and they feel like, it's over for us. But that is what we want to see as fans. But I think with Oli, and he's very a cautious manager, so he will say, look, if I keep Daniel James and I'm trying to protect a lead, he'll be the perfect guy for me to bring on to protect a lead. But then you ask yourself, then what does it mean for Ahmed too? He need to make a decision in terms of his forward play, because he cannot go into the season with all of them like that too, because I think on the substitute bench, you can only keep like 7 of them there. He already kept Mata, which was a mistake anyway. So if you're going to keep all these guys too, you just putting these guys on a bench when if you are losing, you can't use them. Because if you put Mata and Daniel James on your bench and you are losing, you can't lose them because you didn't use them in the Europa League when it mattered the most. So why put him on the bench when you actually need them too? So I don't know. He's going to have to, if he kept Mata, I would say he needs to shift Daniel James. Personally, I feel like he needs to shift him. But it would depend on what their aim is in the transfer market, to be honest.
So, I agree. I would definitely ship Dan James, but just with an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sort of mindset, I feel like it'll probably go down to the wire, to see where we're at, and then we'll probably make a decision there. But for now, I'm going to badge him as staying, not going, so we're not going to generate.
Yeah, staying. He's staying to look after all his shoes, bro.
So last couple ones then. Lingard. So Lingard, did we touch on Lingard?
No, we haven't touched on Lingard yet. We ain't touched on him yet.
So Lingard obviously is the one. I'm surprised I left it this long, because he's the one that's probably one of the most likely ones to leave Manchester United. I'm hearing that he really wants to stay at West Ham or Manchester United. Manchester United, obviously, if he can get game time, he would love to be at Manchester United starting. But if you're not, West Ham is obviously the ideal place. He can get game time. The World Cup's around the corner. He's thinking, if I was so close to the Euros, if I could have a full season of this magic, then Southgate has no option but to pick me and include me. Maybe that's his mentality. Whether it will happen or not, it's another story. But for me, I do feel like he needs to move. We've seen what he can do at West Ham. He had the freedom, to play his game in his position that he wants behind the striker, and he did it really well. At Manchester United, I just can't see that happening. I don't know why we're entertaining the idea, and I hope it's just a sales tactic. I don't know why we're entertaining the idea of keeping him, you know, but that's what I'm hearing, which is worrying me, because he's definitely someone that you can get, you know, 20 million for cash at least, and then, you know, sell him on, and we can use that. That goes a long way to getting a midfielder. That's 50% of the transfer fee already, you know, just by selling Lingard. So in today's climate, so I want him to leave for his sake, you know, for his career. I don't want him to stay. I know he wants to kick it with Sancho. I know he wants to kick it with Rashford. Do you know what I mean? Like, just go on holidays together, chat rubbish, play games, or whatever it is. But he needs to move, man. What's your thoughts on Lingard anyway? Do you see him staying, or do you see him going? And what do you value him at?
You know what? With the Lingard situation, yeah, I feel like the fan base, yeah, we are just so blank on him, like leaving. But what we are not forgetting, yeah, is like his situation is just like Pogba. Why should he leave this summer when he got a year left in his contract, and then next summer he can have a pick of his choice of club to go?
His contract expire next summer.
Yeah, it's expiring next summer.
No.
So, yeah, this is his last year of contract. So next summer he can go on a free and double his wages too. He's in the same situation as Pogba. The only problem is,
do you know what? Oli would offer him a new contract, or the club, whoever will offer him a new contract. He'll accept it before he moves. That he will get another 5-year contract.
And you know what? This is the dilemma with him, because he don't want to go to West Ham, because at the moment West Ham is probably the guy that want to do it. But then he just thinking, look, West Ham had a decent season. They're in Europe this season, but if I go to West Ham and I sign like a 4-year contract, they are not guaranteed to play in Europe for 4 years whilst I'm there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So why should I commit myself and go to West Ham when I can probably get a team in Europe? Like, he can probably go to like a team like, say, your Dortmund, and you know, there are teams that play in Champions League. He can go to Lyon. They play in Champions League all the time. Leo, they play in Champions League all the time. And if you want to be involved in the Champions League, he can go to these foreign clubs and play Champions League football week in and week out. Inter Milan, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid.
Leo qualified for Champions League.
Leo qualified, you know.
They won the league.
He want to be in the Champions League, like Europa League, consistently, you know. West Ham, I'm sorry, will not do that. And I feel like that's why he's very cautious with the West Ham move. I think what I've been hearing is that he doesn't want to go to West Ham. That's what I'm hearing. He doesn't want to go to West Ham. He had a good time there. On loan, it's good to do that, but I feel like long term he doesn't want to go there because he don't see them probably challenging for European season. Because Declan Rice is going to get so, you know. So I think that's what it is. He got 1 year left on his contract. So I think with him, unless some kind of like club that is in Europe, like your Portos and stuff like that, come for him, which they will not pay the money United need, he might end up staying and gain a contract. Definitely gain a contract, and United might try to see if he can do that. Or he can just bid his time, literally sit down tight, just chill for 1 year, like party with Sancho and Rashford, and then next season just go on a free. Literally next season go on a free and have his pick of choice of clubs, and also double his wages towards his attitude. Like, why should you move to go to West Ham now when he can have a pick of clubs, you know? And that's just a problem too.
Fair point. I mean, it's a tough one. I'm gonna put no sell on the Lingard, because the longer it drags out, the more I'm thinking he may not get sold. And that last year of his contract is also
right
inside.
He's one of the guys that only has to come. And this is what I'm just trying to say. If United were after transfer target where we were desperate for the money, then we tell these guys, that's when you become ruthless and say, hey, I want you out because I need the money, you know. I need the money. But right now, we are a bit more relaxed. It's like we got money to spend for some reason, so we don't want to push these guys out. And with Lindegaard, well, it's going to be like, what do you call it? Bay. You know, Bay was supposed to leave this summer, you know. His contract was expiring this summer. Literally, he was going to be a free agent this summer. And then by January, he got a new transfer.
I don't know what Ollie's saying to these guys. I don't know what he's saying to these men, but I don't know how he turned that around. Really don't.
And I feel like they're going to end up doing the same thing with Lindegaard too. They don't want Lindegaard to leave on a free. They want to make some kind of like money on him. And around the dressing room, he's a Manchester guy. Them Manchester guys, they just get contracted.
Lingard, yeah.
Even sell Martial next season that they will sell Lingard, to be honest.
I don't see Lingard leaving Man United for free. I see him signing a contract before he leaves for free.
Right.
But let's move on
to
the
last.
last.
Perfect for the Declan Rice deal, though. If we had enough money to get a Declan Rice deal done, he would have been perfect for the Declan Rice. But I don't think United want to push the Declan Rice deal that much. It's very, very quiet on Declan Rice. So
it's the money. It's the money. And next season, we know our priority is a striker. So even next season, I don't see us looking at Declan Rice thinking, we're going to get him because we're going to spend most of that money on trying to get Haaland.
The price where the Greenwich going for 100 million. Bro, he's just going to start some stupid stuff with these English clubs, bro. West Ham going to say 80 million from Declan Rice. And I'm sorry, he ain't worth that.
Tell me about it. They're already saying 100 million before that sale. So, last but not least, I've put him as a no-sell, by the way, because I'm just not sure if we can actually get him.
Yeah.
So, Dean Henderson and David De Gea. So, recent news came out today about Dean Henderson. So, Dean Henderson, since he contracted COVID, he's never quite fully recovered. And at the minute, he's not making it to the Scotland training sort of camp. So it looks like it's going to be David De Gea. That's probably, getting those minutes under his belt in the Scotland training camp. And I can see, someone like David De Gea starting the season. I think it's more clearer to me now who's going to be starting the season. It's going to be David De Gea. And it's going to be Dean Henderson trying to work his way back into the team. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to start David De Gea in the Premier League team and then remove him and then bring Henderson in. He's going to be doing it as, Henderson, you're going to be taking cup games, David De Gea, your Premier League. And I feel like the decision has been made on his behalf, but I feel like the decision has been made for Ole, that tough decision that he would have had to make probably going into the season. So again, he gets a slice of luck. But for me, I don't see any of them leaving. David De Gea, definitely not, because his wages are crazy and Manchester United is not going to be subsidising his wages. It's not that serious to get him out of the club. He's performing well. It's not like a Sanchez situation. And then Dean Henderson, again, he's on massive wages. A lot of people are saying, they can't afford this wage, can't afford that wage. What big club is looking at Dean Henderson that can afford these wages that will want Dean Henderson to play for them? You know what I mean? I can't see it. So for me, again, you're not going to be subsidising Dean Henderson's wages, and I just really can't see him going anywhere. Ollie's already promised that he's going to be number one anyway, England's number one and whatever like that. I don't know when that'll be, but let's see what happens. For me, I see both of them staying. For me, I see it as a like last season. So that's a no-sell for me. But what do you think anyway?
Look, I think it was very, very crucial whoever started the season as number one. Because right now that you got Harry Maguire and Varane as your guy to protect you, I feel like you're gonna face less chances, and the chances that are coming your way too, if you deal with them, well, you got a safe bet to just like keep your place. Let's face it, with our centre back right now, with our back line right now, we will hardly face that kind of a shot. So if you deal with that, and I feel like whoever started the season at number one was gonna finish it as number one. Now, Henderson just doing this, and to be honest with you, he done this interview where he said that he tried so hard to get the number one, and when he got the number one, he was mentally drained. I'm thinking, bro, this is United. You cannot be mentally drained trying to get number one spot, because you done it when the fans was not there. Now imagine when the fans are there, and then we are just so anxious behind your goal, because the goalkeepers are just there. They hear it all. Like, you hear it all. So if you don't have the mental strength to be like that, then I worry for you, but I feel that De Gea will start the season as number one. Henderson will probably stay. If he get a long move, he'll probably get on transfer deadline day, like literally transfer deadline day. But I see him more going on loan in January than now, because at the moment in the Premiership, I don't even know who need a goalkeeper. Some people need a goalkeeper, but I don't know who need a goalkeeper. And if they did need a goalkeeper, they would have probably get one of those ones that we have to offer it to them. If he go to any of these clubs, he's probably going to be number one for a lot of these clubs, personally. But we have to push him out for loan, and then maybe he can come back next season. But if De Gea starts the season as number one and he does well, it means that he's going to be there again next season, because he's on a 5-year contract, and he only done 1 year of that 5 years or so. So I don't know. With the Henderson De Gea, I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna. Whoever started number one is gonna be number one for the next like 2-3 years because they're gonna form a partnership, and one of them have to be sold. And I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but I feel like De Gea is gonna be the number one for this season and maybe next season if he keep the mistake out. And I'm confident he will keep the mistake out personally. So I don't know what to do with Henderson. I really don't know what to do with Henderson.
It's another saga that rumbles on, my friend. So as we was talking, I was calculating the costs, right, and I added it all.
Right.
So hypothetically speaking, if we got rid of these players, right, according to those prices that we said, and I think they were modest, we could raise over 100 million. So to be precise, 103 million. So Eric Bailly was 25 million. You know, Tuanzebe was 30 million. That's 55 million.
Yeah.
Pereira, we said 10 million. That's 65 million. Brandon Williams, we said 10 million. That's 75 million. Dalot, we said 10 million. That's 85 million. Tahith Chong, we said 15 million. I'm not too sure about that. But what are we on now? It was 85 before. So 100 plus 15, that's 100. And then we said James is not going, Lingard is not going, Dean Henderson is not going. And I think we add 3 million for Matic. So roughly,
bro, we haven't even put one of the greatest players too right now. It's Phil Jones, bro. We have put Phil Jones,
bro. I purposely didn't mention Phil Jones.
But you know what? Phil Jones can be that fourth centre back that we've been talking about if Lindelof for one of them goes, because
bro,
that guy's still gonna be there.
Bro, that guy's gonna be around for Sancho's testimonial, bro. He's gonna be around there, still playing.
He's gonna be like Carrick. He's gonna end up getting a coaching badge. He'll probably spend his time coaching anyways.
So that's good money, bro. That's good money. So for me, I mean, there's enough assets in a club, hopefully, to be able to raise capital between this season and next season. If we act fast with regards to our player sales, we can raise that money to potentially get a Haaland or whoever if they're interested in coming, and potentially fill the void with a defensive midfielder as well. So, I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just hoping it all works out well. So, do you know what? That was me, man. That was me. I mean,
our squad right now, next season, even our squad right now, next season, the only person that I see probably forcing a move to go if they don't get a lot of like football is probably going to be Alex Telles, left back. He probably might force a move, and we can easily get cover up for him. Maybe Van der Beek too, but I'm hearing Van der Beek. I'm hearing he's booked now, bro. I'm hearing man is hedged.
A bit of gym, yeah.
I'm hearing he's got a bit of gym too, and he's one guy we need to watch. So I don't know. Our squad for the next 2 seasons, I think we're just good. We just need to just try work on who is going to be our striker once Cavani goes, and I think that's going to be the main priority too. And maybe try to see if you can get a decent like defensive midfielder too, which is going to be our target for next summer, to be honest, but we'll see.
Well, lads, you heard it from us. This is the OT99 Banter Room, where opinions were shared and a bit of smoke got served. Look, you heard our opinions. We'll love to hear yours. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe and support the team. Follow on Instagram at OT99_Banter Room, TikTok at OT99 Banter Room, all one word, and Twitter at 99 Banter. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow the journey, support the team. Peace.